I literally worked around real life meat villains at a college. So years ago, whenever I created the stage persona ZmanTheVegan, what this channel is, a vegan superhero singer-songwriter, I did this while working for a university inside an all you can eat like dining hall, and I would go out on my breaks. I would perform as a vegan superhero. I would sing vegan songs. Sometimes I'd even hold a sign like "Veganism is a moral obligation. Change my mind." I would have respectful conversations with people. Most people were cool, respectful, actually open to what I was saying. Didn't know. I would bring like textbooks and even like printed out studies, and I would show people. I would, talk them through the things like how do I get enough protein. But a lot of the time, people would okay, I said a lot of the time. I meant to say some of the time, because I mean some days it was a lot of the time, but overall I'd say it was positive. But some of the time people would be mean. They'd project their insecurities. They'd walk by and be like, "I'm gonna go eat a burger," or a group of college kids would walk up and surround me and be like, "Oh yeah," like mess with me. I would do my spiel, but I would try to be authentic. Like, "So what do you think? Like, you want to talk about it?" And then they would come back with like shallow responses like, "Oh, I like meat." Oh, like I can't remember the things they would say, but they would try to say it kind of in a rude way that's like dismissive and maybe even like bashing on vegans. Like, "Oh, you look tiny," or I don't know, like stuff like that. But a lot of the time, even in those moments, whenever I'm talking to them and I just stay respectful, I keep talking, speaking my truth and what I learned, what I believe. But hearing them out, there might be like one or two people. This is usually how it works out. One or two people were mean in the group, like I guess the alphas or leaders or however you want to put it. But I would talk to them. Like I wouldn't turn away. I would just talk just as loud to them as anybody else. I wasn't afraid to talk to them. But all their friends would laugh. But as that interaction went on, their friends would start to open up more. It's like a lot of the time, some of those people would walk up to me a day or two later, not being in the group of friends, just by themselves, and they would talk to me like more as a human, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? This actually kind of makes sense." And they wouldn't necessarily go vegan, but it's like they showed more respect. And I found that a lot of the time people were rude like that because it was a social thing. They're trying to look cool in front of their friends. They're just young college kids, immature. But this also brings me to my boss. In the saga, so I'm creating a vegan superhero saga where I took my real life experience and put into like a mythical story where I'm actually a vegan superhero, and I do work at a campus in that story too. And there's a meat villain. Well, there's multiple meat villains. There's villains in this story, and one is T-Bone Todd, and he's based off of a real life boss that I've worked with. But the funny thing is, the true story, he's the one that came up with the name, because I mean he was actually a cool guy, honestly. Like, he wasn't vegan. I disagree with them. There were disagreements, but like his personality, how he interacted with me, like still with respect and playful, like he understood what I was doing, and in a way he kind of supported it. Like, none of my bosses ever got on to me for going out on my breaks and playing out there. I mean, I don't think they could legally, I guess, if it's they can't tell me what to do. I mean, I guess I could have if they really wanted to, but he was never like that. He was never like hating on the vegan thing or anything. In fact, that he would even try to seem helpful, like he's trying to give me more vegan recipes, even though he's not vegan. And so, sure, there were moments where we had like arguments, just like the normal non-vegan bashes the vegan, but it was, for the most part, it was mostly playful, just like playfully messing around with me, even though obviously it is upsetting to be a vegan and people to not take it seriously. But he somehow respected it, and it's not that he didn't take me seriously, it's just that he had a playful way of interacting with me, which I appreciated. So one day he walked up to me and he's like, "Oh, so you're ZmanTheVegan, eh?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, I'm T-Bone Todd." he said he's gonna go out there and start rapping whenever I start playing music on my break. Now T-Bone Todd inside the series, the saga, is not a rapper. He's just a mean boss, a mean corrupted boss with anger, resentment, trying to control Z-Man. Doesn't really like Z-Man, and he's very gluttonous. Like, I'm just none of that is actually Todd. I think it's very important that I say that in this video. I mean, I put a disclaimer at the beginning of each saga episode. These are not supposed to be literal depictions of real life people. This is fiction. So the character inside the saga is not Todd, but it's based off of that idea, the T-Bone Todd, which I turned into an actual villain inside the saga, T-Bone Todd. And so, yeah. I literally worked with meat villains, and now I put it into a story. And there's also Carl the Carnivore, who was a student inside the series, but he kind of represents all of the mean, angry college dudes who were mean to me whenever I busked on campus, and then he turns into Z-Man's opposite, kind of. Well, he also represents carnivores, like the angry, violent carnivore type. But anyway, leave a comment down below. What do you think? Have you ever worked with a supervillain before? No. I didn't actually work with supervillains, but you know, I worked with a lot of people that had opposite views of the world as me, as almost always do, at some point. But I mean, it's a little different being a vegan, working at like food place, and everybody's not vegan. It's like you feel like an outsider. But you know, I'm grateful Todd was respectful, and I didn't succeed on turning anybody vegan there that I worked with. Todd's not vegan yet. I'll get you, Todd, if you're watching. No. But I did inspire some students to go vegan. I know that. So I didn't win the war, but we won the battle. No. We didn't win the battle, but we'll win the war. There's no war. We're going to put an end to the war, and none of it will winning. None of it will matter. It's not going to matter who's winning. Just stop the war. Alright, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. For the animals! Woo!